Frank's whole life runs on one check. $1,900 on the 3rd of every month. That's it. No pension on the side. No savings account quietly waiting. No cushion under the mattress. When that check is spent, there is nothing behind it until the 3rd of the next month. Most people have a number behind their number. A little saved, a card they could lean on, a kid they could call. Frank has the check, and then he has the calendar. He isn't lazy. He worked for 41 years, mostly on his feet. He just never earned enough to save much, and the little he saved got spent on the emergencies that find people who have no cushion. So at 66, he retired with almost nothing but Social Security. This is what it actually looks like to run an entire life on one check, with no room for a single surprise. Not the budget on paper, the 3rd of the month, and the 29 days after it. People assume no savings means bad choices. Sometimes. But sit with Frank's 41 years first. He drove a delivery route, then worked a warehouse floor. Steady work, never big money. He raised 2 kids on it, which ate whatever might have become savings. There were a couple of years without work in his 50s, the kind that quietly empty whatever you'd managed to put aside. Every time he got a little ahead, something ordinary took it back. A car that had to run so he could work. A furnace in January. A kid who needed help more than Frank needed a safety net. None of that is reckless. It's just a life lived close to the line, where there was never quite enough left at the end of the month to build the cushion everyone says you should have. And when work ended, the line didn't move. It just lost its paycheck. So here's the whole life on one check. Let's actually run it. Start with the check. $1,900. Rent on a small place, $850. That leaves $1,050. Utilities, about $140. $910. Groceries, careful ones, $300. $610. The car, just insurance and gas, $200. $410. Phone and a few small bills, $90. $320. Then the medicine. Frank takes 3 prescriptions. $240 a month. That leaves $80. $80. Not saved. Left. That's the entire distance between Frank and the edge, every single month. And here's the part that matters. There's nothing behind that 80. No account it can fall back into. When it's gone until the 3rd. If you've ever watched a check disappear like that, you already know this channel. Joy per Dollar tells honest retirement money stories. No yachts, no panic, no tax tricks. Just real bills and quiet math. The parts most finance channels skip. If that sounds like your life, subscribe and turn on notifications, because these stories don't get told out loud very often. Now, back to that $80. Margaret, someone I told you about before, at least had a small buffer to burn through. Frank doesn't. And that changes everything about how the month feels. When you have $80 and no account behind it, you don't get to have a bad week. A dentist visit isn't a problem you solve, it's a problem you survive. So Frank has learned to do a thing that sounds small and isn't. He decides in advance what he will give up when something goes wrong. Because something always goes wrong. The month the tooth cracked, he gave up the car for 3 weeks and took the bus because the filling cost more than the 80. The month the electric bill ran high, he cut one of the 3 medicines in half without telling his doctor, which he knows he shouldn't do, and which is exactly the kind of quiet, dangerous math that no budget spreadsheet ever shows you. This is what no cushion really means. It doesn't mean Frank fails. It means every ordinary surprise gets paid for with something that mattered. The system doesn't hand him a disaster. It hands him a choice every month between 2 things he needs. So how does he keep standing? Not with a rescue, with a set of small, deliberate defenses. First, he made the rent as small as he possibly could. He took a room in a shared house instead of his own apartment. It cost him privacy, which is not nothing at 66. It bought him $200 a month of survival. He'd tell you that trade honestly. It hurt. And he'd make it again. Second, he found the programs. This is the part pride almost cost him. For 2 years, Frank didn't sign up for the help he qualified for, because he'd worked his whole life, and it felt like failing. Then a pharmacist quietly told him about a prescription assistance program, and his $240 in medicine dropped to $70. That one conversation gave him back more room than any budgeting tip ever could. Third, he built the smallest possible buffer, on purpose, slowly. Not from the check, there's nothing spare in the check. From bottle returns, from a few hours helping a neighbor, from the coins in the jar. It took 8 months to get to $200. It is the only thing standing between him and the next cracked tooth. He guards it like it's made of gold, because to him, it is. None of this is a comeback. Frank will tell you that plainly. It's a man building thin walls, by hand, against a wind that never fully stops. Let me be honest about what this life actually feels like, because the number alone doesn't tell it. Most months, Frank makes it. That sentence sounds small until you realize it's the whole victory. He makes it. The lights stay on, the rent gets paid, he eats. Some months he even puts $5 in the jar and feels, for a second, ahead. Other months take everything, and the jar goes to 0, and he starts again. He doesn't panic anymore, not because it stopped being hard, but because panic is a luxury that costs energy he needs for the arithmetic. He'd tell you he's tired, not defeated, tired. There's a difference, and it's the difference this whole channel is about. A defeated man stops doing the math. Frank still does it, every third of the month, at a small table in a shared house. And the math still, barely, works. Here's what I want to leave you with, and it's harder than Margaret's ending, because Frank's math is harder. Frank didn't fail at retirement. He was handed a check that was never quite big enough to hold a whole life, and no cushion to catch the difference. And he has kept that life standing anyway, month after month, with nothing but careful choices and a $200 jar. That's not failure. In its own quiet way, that's closer to heroism than most of what we call success. The system didn't break Frank with a disaster. It just never gave him room to breathe, and then called it his fault. It wasn't his fault. It was one check, doing the work of a whole life it was never built to carry. So here's my question. and I read every one. If your entire life had to run on one check with nothing behind it, where would your $80 go? Run your own quiet math down in the comments, not to frighten yourself, to see clearly how little room the system leaves once the necessary bills are paid. Because for a lot of people, retirement isn't the reward at the end of the work. It's the moment the check finally has to carry everything alone.